Well, good afternoon, maybe evening. What time is it? Oh yeah, it's after 5. It's evening. Not too often I do videos at night, eh? Busy day today. Got a 346 done today. Almost done for John Power today. Just got to mod his muffler and run it up and change his sprocket drum sprocket. He had a spur type sprocket on that, which I found unusual. Someone must have changed it because it did not come that way. So I'm putting a floating rim sprocket on it with a 3/8 drive to run a 20-inch Walker's lightweight bar and ship it back to Fort St. John. No, Newfoundland, I think. Sorry, John. Let me just check his sheet here. Am I not thinking right? I called him the other day. He was at work. I was quite surprised I got hold of him. Newfoundland, yeah. Clarenville, Newfoundland. 16 Drake's Head Road. Good fella. Had a nice talk with him the other day. Anyways, get this done and the other stuff that you wanted as well, John. You'll love it. 346 is ripped. This thing's in great shape. Someone had changed the ignition though. It had a 13,300 rev limiter on it. Ignition, one of the blue ones. Most of those came with the black one, non-rev limiter. In the early years, then when they changed to the 50cc version of that model, they came with a 14,100 rev limiter, and I think some of them maybe had that purge valve primer. Maybe? I don't know. It's been a while now. Anyways, on that, John, and I also got, what's else in the buggy over here? I got this little trailer buggy I move up and down. Oh, an 881, an MS881 for Alexander Bach from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. Done other saws for him. The 881, I gotta say, man, port timing's pretty darn good from the factory. I changed it just slightly and blueprinted a bunch of stuff in it, put the bark box on it, then I'm going to run it Thursday at the shop and set the carburetor properly, and it'll be good for milling and bucking huge wood. You're going to love that. I also did a 650 still, an unusual version of the still. It's in the 80, I think 85cc version, or 80cc. Then the 066 was in the 90s, right? So his spark plug was stripped on that 650 still. Not totally, but ready to go. The plug would have blown out, and he said, Donny, whatever you think, go ahead, just throw a 660 cylinder on it. So I put a brand new 660 cylinder on it. First time I ported one of those brand new ones for quite a while. You know, I've done hundreds of them years ago, if not more. The best saw I ever built, I think. Bar as none. Totally reliable, man. So now, yeah, I've converted that, Corey, into the 660, and you'll love it. Ported it nicely, rebuilt your carburetor, put a new fuel line on it. You had a aftermarket ignition on it, which I'm going to find you a used coil tomorrow in one of my boxes. I don't like the aftermarket ignitions, so I'm going to put that on for you free of charge, and because you've done a lot of business with me, and one day you'll take me fishing up in Alaska, right, Corey? I hope. Unless I do a bad job, you're going to say, screw you, Donny. You ain't coming here fishing. You might be crab bait. Those Alaska crab fishermen. You ever watch that show? It's one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Like West Coast Falling. Those two jobs are the most dangerous jobs in the world. Anyways, that's enough said. That's what I did this morning. Tomorrow I'm going to do some little echoes, a Dalmar 6100, and a 500, and a couple other ones. Yeah. Then I'm going to work the whole day tomorrow. work Thursday at the Walker Saw Shop with Johnny, my bro, and Sam, and the other guys. And then Thursday night, I'm heading to Vancouver on the last ferry, and get off this fantasy island to go over the concrete jungle. But I'm not going right downtown Vancouver. I'm going outwards to like Langley and Chilliwack to see some good rock concerts, some good old bands. Chilliwack, Trooper, Harlequin, and I believe Shelley wants to go into town to see Rod Stewart and someone else. Whatever. I'll do the girly thing. Nah, they're all good. All those old rockers and musicians are great. They're all getting old now. Holy crap. Hey? Look at what Mick Jagger was the other day. Was he 80 the other day or something? Yeah, incredible, man. But still pumps it out. He can go all night in a concert, eh? Wow. Just had a message from a fella. He emailed me. Johnny gave him my email. He's his dad was a power saw mechanic up in Gold River, Mr. White. Roy White, I believe. I believe I met him years ago. I worked in Sabalas in the late 80s to about 92. And I remember going to Gold River and looking after a couple things or getting something from there. And I believe I met him. And I think my dad also met him or used to help him out through Fiji with a bunch of the McCulloughs. Anyways, his son has a 797 McCullough that his dad acquired. They found it. The thing had like no hours on it. It was like brand new. They found it like in a culvert or ditch that must have been stolen from a logging camp. Because in the pictures he sent me, it did have a number on it, marked on it. So that's usually a crew number, right, or a camp number. Like you got number 52, number 53, number 54. We kept track of saws in those days in these logging camps. Some logging camps we had, my dad dealt with Fiji, like Kelsey Bay and Gold River and these places. Man, there was like, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I believe they used to have, like 60, 80 fallers at some of these camps, if not more. So they had a lot of saws. You think about it, they had 3 times the saw per faller. So if there was 60 fallers, they probably had, 130 saws, because they all have to have a spare. They all move from different spot to spot. So sometimes they'll leave a saw up in the bush, like 1,000 feet up in the bush in the timber, instead of packing it down because they thought they were going to go there the next day. But then all of a sudden they get changed because of fog or rain or wind. They go to another area, so they got to grab another saw. So it's almost like in those days, if I remember correctly, they had almost 4 saws per faller. So there you go. Do that math, and that's a lot of saws. So that area up in Gold River, Tassus, Sabalas, unbelievable wood. Huge spruces. We had the Spruce Flats up by Sabalas. Me and old Mr. Peterson, my boss, not Bill. Everyone called him Porky. Sorry, buddy. Porky Peterson. Hope no one gets offended by that. But that was his nickname. He was my woods foreman or falling manager, right? So he was my boss, and he showed me these areas up there in the Spruce Flats. We went out for a drive one day to check out some falling areas and whatnot, and oh my goodness, man, these Spruce Flats, there was like hundreds and hundreds of stumps that were like, 12 to 18 feet in diameter. Spruce on the coast here is huge. A lot of the old ships years ago, if they had a damaged sailing mast, they would cruise into these areas and saw down one of these huge big spruces and build themselves a new mast. That's what my dad told me. I hope it's true. Sounds good though. Anyways, that was very nice for him to get a hold of me. I'm going to take that 797 on. He's going to drop it off at the Walker Saw Shop, and I'm going to take my time on it and restore it for him so it runs. So he has another momentum. He's also got an 090 that he hangs on his wall, and he'll have his big McCullough hanging on the wall that his dad ran and used to fix. So that's very cool. I like to do projects like that to help people with nostalgia stuff. I don't do it full time. I don't have a lot of time for that, but I do it for the odd person, right? Or certain people. Sitting here tonight, went down to the old Walker saw shop and cleaned out one of the shops there and brought back a whole bunch of old saws. Old Pioneers, old McCulloughs, Husqvarna 35s, Frontier ones. Found an old pipe. I forgot my dad had this pipe. This pipe was for a 3120. The engineers at Husqvarna sent me this pipe years ago. And it worked awesome on our hot saw. Husqvarna has a stamping system. If you notice this pipe, there's no welds here across. It's two pieces and then it's welded together. Husqvarna at the factory actually own a huge stamping system. They used to like stamp out unibodies for Volkswagen, all sorts of things. It's just a massive, huge press system. They can make these molds and they mold these great big units. But these engineers made that pipe on there for a 3120, which is cool. We used it on a couple 3120s and they went good. Then my dad adapted it onto a McCullough. But I'm going to readapt it back onto a 3120 that I'm going to build for my young friend Chase Gunderson. That's going to run the saw for me at some events if I'm not there. Or I'll run it too if he ain't there. So it'll be a nice match. It was a nice match for that motor, and I'll figure out the port durations and whatnot for that. And when I do that, I'm going to incorporate that 3120 I'm building. I'm putting this carburetor on it, 24 millimeter IBO, and I'm going to port it to all the specs for that pipe and as like a motocross enduro type engine, right? Okay, well, hopefully that wasn't too boring. In front of me, or no, behind me here is the 372 that I'm going to port tomorrow and finish off. It's the saw for the draw. I'm so sorry. I've been so busy moving and setting up a new business with Shelly, the new daycare. Just been out of hand. We're going to have this put back together when I get back from my holidays, and we're going to draw the winner for this saw. It's going to be a Walkerized 372 X-Torque, your choice of bar and chain. It's going to have the dual port muffler, ported, non-rev limiter ignition, just the way I do them for the loggers. You're going to love it, whoever wins it. And whoever wins it, I'm going to call first to ask about a couple of situations. Do you want a dust flap? Do you want a bar and chain size? Stuff like that, right? So it'll work out pretty good. The money I raised for Ray was very nice for him and his family. I haven't talked to him for the last few days. He's quite a quiet fella. I asked him if he wanted to do a video. And he said, nah, not really. I'll probably cry. And I was like, good enough, buddy. You know, that's okay. I'll probably cry too. There's nothing wrong with men crying. It's very healthy. If you don't say you don't, you're a liar. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this together after I get back from my holidays. I'm leaving on Thursday night. And be back the next weekend. We'll get this done and do the draw. And hopefully one of you guys or girls or family out there are going to win it. I'm just going to actually take right now a couple small echoes. This is pretty much easy to do. The cylinder's over there. I'm going to take the CS501, I think they are. Yeah, CS501Ps. I know I've measured one up before and wrote it down in my book. I'll have to look that up. Talked to that Charles Briscoe on phone the other night. He does a lot of echoes and a lot of saws. He's doing wonderful work. So if any guys down in the U.S. need some saws modified or tuned, check that guy out, man. Check his videos out. Charles Briscoe does great stuff with the echoes. I believe I got this written down. I'm just going to go over here, grab my little book. Let's just have a look. I think I've done one. Or it was a 490. Oh, here's an Echo 490. Echo 620. I'm sure I did. If not, I'll be remeasuring it tonight. This one. And CS 680. Makita Delmar. CS 7310. Echo 620. Echo 510. CS 510. Oh, maybe I meant to write 501. Maybe I wrote it down wrong. Is there a CS 510? Not sure. Anyways, I'm going to remeasure this and get these dealt with. Yeah, okay, the CS 510. Wow, the exhaust is real low. Intake, not bad. Squish was 63 thou. 43 without gasket. And I took 20 thousandths off it. Oh, weird. Huh. I got to remeasure it. I can't go by this. I can't quite remember. Anyways, see how that works out. I just wanted to talk about that though, about the draw coming up. And that after I get back from holidays and get on to building more saws for everyone. I'm working on a bunch of racing saws, like I said, so don't have much time. Oh yeah, by the way, look up. Polly on the ceilings. Finally did it. Corey, Shelly's son, helped me out. Thank you very much, buddy. And he's helping me do my videos too. He's helping me figure out how I link 2 to 3 videos together, which I did the other day on the one I was showing you on the lathe. And that's kind of cool. Once he shows me 1 or 2 more times, maybe I'll figure it out because I am computer illiterate or electronically illiterate. But whatever. We'll get her figured out, eh? By the way, it's raining outside right now. Yeah, it's raining. So nice to see rain. And thank God I got that vent done on my camper in my last video yesterday. Hey, I got it done before last night. And last night it pissed down rain. Oops, did I sort of swear there? Yeah, whatever. Good timing. That's all I got to say. So yeah, I'm going to measure up this Echo now. And have some dinner and relax and get back at her tomorrow. So y'all out there, keep your saw in the wood, stick in the ice, rubber in the road. Check out the walkersawshop.com online store. Check out my buddy Buck and Billy Ray's videos. Tin Man's, Charles Briscoe. We're all good, man. We all got our own stuff to do, and yeah. Have a great night. Have some popcorn, watch a movie. Chillax. Bye now.